The Missouri River Breaks are famous for mule deer and bighorn sheep. Hunter conservationist Olivia Opry teams up with Bill Brown of Chase Hill Outfitters to explore this incredible land in the hunt.
So I'm in the Missouri River Breaks, the famous breaks here in Montana, where bighorn sheep populations abound and wildlife like mule deer, numbers are incredible. So I'm hunting with Chase Hill Outfitters alongside Bill Brown, who owns this operation. And we've got access to 50,000 acres of prime hunting land. In my experience hunting mule deer, it's usually finding a needle in a haystack. First day we went out and I've never seen that many deer in my life. Have you seen that the bucks were ready yet?
Not really, you know. There was seen some bigger bucks out with the does. It's kind of just right there. I think in the next day or two it's going to be pretty good.
There's all kinds of deer out here. Wow. I can't believe how many there are out here. I mean, I gotta count because this is unreal. Holy cow. How old do you think that buck is?
Well, I'm going to say he's got to be 5.5.
So he's like right in prime.
I would say they're just coming to it.
I cannot believe how many deer we're seeing right here. Clearly there's not a lot of pressure here, is there?
No, but we, don't take that many deer off of the number of acres that we hunt.
What are they eating here? What is this food?
This is, we had lentils in this field last year.
Oh, I mean, this is incredible, the population of mule deer you have here. Ooh, look, he's sniffing her. Yep. Wee little things. Oh, look at these little things. It's finding that one big buck. It's just the beginning of the rut, and he's letting the little boys get a taste of the action. And I know he's going to show up. It's just the patience and the perseverance that I've got to put forth. Got a big old thick neck. He clearly rules this harem, doesn't he? Yeah, he's ready. Look, he's sniffing around, checking the girls. Lewis and Clark were kind of the first people to sort of explore this territory, right?
Correct. There was, prior to that, there was the French, a few French fur trappers coming in out of Canada, but extremely limited. Very, maybe a handful of people, white, Europeans prior to Lewis and Clark.
What's the story on this rock?
People over the years have scratched their names and initials in it. Somebody put a rose over here.
I see that. Well, what's interesting is this huge rock is balancing on this clay pile. Has it been there as long as you know this rock?
Yes. Yeah, this is virtually hasn't changed. I remember this as a little kid.
There's so many nooks and crannies for them to hide in. And they just, all these little white specks of snow could be actually their rump. It's just difficult to make them out. So what are realistic expectations for a mule deer hunter here?
Well, the best buck we've ever taken was 208. Pretty good chance of, real good chance of getting a 170 class buck. Well, typically we get good solid 4.5 to and up. We probably average about a 24-inch muley with good mass and maybe an extra kicker or two. Typically average over 200 pounds field dressed. Very big mature animals. We have real close to 100% success on trophy animals. Kind of a cool little spot.
This is a really great spot. Love it. I feel like a mountain lion looking over the territory for the big buck.
Trash. Always peeking at you.
Oh, he's gonna trash this thing. He's gotta mark his territory. Come on, big guy. Show us who the boss is. Well, I'm a little scared because Big Daddy's behind me. And he'll kick my butt. Hey, lady. kind of cute. How old do you think that bigger of the male was?
Probably 3.5, 4.5.
Give him a few more years. I think he's got a lot of potential. Yeah.
Got a nice frame. He just needs a little bit more spread.
So we are having to cover a lot of ground, and the most effective way to do that is with the pickup trucks. And we're seeing a lot of game, but it's a diverse topography. You've got a lot of rolling hills, a lot of breaks. We're having to really look this place over, and once you get up on the high spots, especially when you're overlooking coulees, you don't know what's going to be around any given corner. We're right on the cusp of the rut really taking off. But I know there's some really big mule deer here. They're holding back in the thick stuff. And this isn't a place that you come and expect to get a 180, 190, 200 class mule deer. Though they're here, realistically, a good solid 160 class deer, that's what you're shooting for. We gotta make a plan before they do crest that hill. We went after these deer that were in the open, and we had a little bit of gain where we could utilize an advantage point to sort of sneak in on these deer. Is that a shooter? But then this pronghorn pops out and blows the whole thing. Just give me the okay, Bill. Do you want me to shoot him or not? I took a shot. He's chasing. From a little over 300 yards. Tell me yes or no? Yes. With a crosswind at about 30 miles an hour, and I missed. It's gonna be too far back. Talk about down and out. I mean, you get to a point where you're like, man, I feel like I'm ready and prepared, but you can't be prepared for everything. I didn't compensate for the wind. I don't know how hard this wind is blowing, but it's gotta be, what, 20, 30 miles an hour?
The wind blew all night long. Every hour or so I'd wake up and the wind was blowing. And
so this morning we got up and it was windy, and talk about down and out. It's like, man, when the wind blows, everything's scared, everything's on high alert, everything runs. We just scouted the coulees because that's where the deer wanted to be. They didn't want to be up in this wind. I don't want to be in this wind.
We kept hunting around the edges of the rough breaks, and this particular area had quite a bit of timber in it. So we were stopping and walking out ridges and glassing into the timber and down into the canyons. And
glassing, and there was 4 doe on the side of the hill.
The does were looking off in a particular direction, and
all of a sudden, a few more deer popped out.
Here comes Big Daddy.
It was one of those things where you don't even need to throw up your binoculars and you're like, oh my gosh, there's a heck of a buck coming in.
Man, oh man, he is really a good buck.
He's dropping down, he's in the sun, he's coming down to the trees to check out the girls on the right. It was clear that this was the buck that we were gonna go after, but he was 470 yards away. For me, I really needed a close distance, and we did.
We were able to sneak right down 470 yards down to something like 160 yards. I mean, we just smoked on down off the ridge. And
I was so scared that he was going to dart out of there any minute, and I had one moment I felt.
He's coming towards us until he stops. Slows down. There he is.
Okay, I'm on him. You ready?
Ready. Just wait. Wait until he gets broadside.
Wait. Hit him a little far back, spined him.
He's done.
Was able to get a few more rounds in him, and he expired quickly.
You did good, girl. That's awesome. You did awesome. You did awesome. What a stock, what a everything. That was
awesome. This is Montana mule deer hunting at his best. He's in rut. I'm so excited. It's so cool to watch him.
Are you happy, girl?
For me, seeing him, watching him come in, seeing how excited he was to see the does, to be able to close the distance that we did, have this great straight across shot. And to be able to go in and see that buck come out, sniffing, looking, excited for the season, hoping for a hot doe, just to be a part of that magic is just incredible. That's enough. That is the hunt. That is what it's all about. It looks like he's down.
Beautiful.
He's down. Oh, wow. He's so beautiful. There's going to be meat in the freezer this year. And you're going to feed my kids, and you're going to feed our family, and good buck. Oh, thank you.
Perseverance and a little good luck, along with the help of outfitter Bill Brown, have gone a long way in the hunt as Olivia has realized her dream of taking an old, mature mule deer buck in Montana's Missouri River breaks.